I've got Tulika, who met a few years ago, and now, yesterday actually, she was doing a panel with us on access consciousness. And I wanted, when I looked at her profile, I said, wow, why I should have thought of her earlier to be on the panel. And this is God sent, this is destiny, that she was here yesterday. She was to fly today, but her flight is now later, and there you are, there she is. So all of us sitting here have different backgrounds, completely different backgrounds. I didn't even know Parul Ori earlier. I knew Anu, I didn't meet her. I knew Ashwini, Colonel Jaideep Singh, I never knew him. Tulika very recently. And what came out is that 3 people here are from the army background, armed forces. You're from the Navy background. You're from the Navy background. Tulika's father was in the army, and your father was in the army. And he himself is an army man. So I have a lot of connection with the army. My uncle was an army officer, and I've lived up looking at him and trying to learn something from him. I think, you always have some inspiration in life. So, and I'm sure we have all had inspirations, and that's why we do things the way we do them. So maybe I can start straight away with Anu. Anu has a background of army, like I said, and she's also director in A4A Hospitality. She'll talk us about that. And besides singing, reading, modeling, trekking, etc., scuba diving, I think the whole highlight is to see how people find time to do something different, away from your regular job. And it all comes from the heart. I think the bottom line is it has to be from your heart and your passion. So over to you, Anu.
Check. Thank you very much, Mr. Vijayvanshu. And of course, the reason why we're all here, the charismatic Dr. Harbeen and Mr. Vinay Rai. Really happy to be here amongst you all. My name is Anuradha Prasad Dhawan, also known as Anu PD. I'm a designer by profession, and so my label reads Anu PD because my full name is a mouthful. We are here, we are going to be talking about the name of this panel discussion. This session is Talent Unleashed. So in a bit, we will come to the talent part of it, or the interest part of it. I think more than talent, it's the interest and the passion that we all have for certain activities or certain motivating factors in our lives. As Vijay said, I am one of the directors of this company, which is a lifestyle company called A4A. We are in hospitality, travel, and design. And I have, like all of us, I have experienced certain milestones in my life, in my journey, which have brought me to what I do and what I'm passionate about. So being from the army background, being from the army background, one of life's defining moments for me happened at the age of 7, when my parents, in all their wisdom, decided to take me on a trek to Amarnath in the Himalayas. Some of you may know Amarnath Shrine in the Himalayas. And this was a trek which we took off at 5 in the morning and came back at 1 a.m. the same night. And as a 7-year-old, I kind of walked that whole trek of whatever kilometers it took us to reach to that height. And that height is approximately around 17,000 feet. Look back now, and I think that was the start point for my wanderlust, to go places, to meet new people, to experience new cultures. And subsequently, around the age of 9 or 10, was the next life-defining moment, which took me towards design and working with fabrics, with crafts. And that was spending long summer holiday afternoons uh, just taking out all my mom's old clothes, cutting them up, and then stitching them in weird ways and hiding them away. And then, a few months later, when mother would be doing spring cleaning, she would take the stuff out and she'd say, oh my God, what happened to this? And this is something that I had been looking for, and what happened to this one? So, all kinds of interesting apparel. I used to call them designs at that time. And all kinds of interesting apparel was created during those summer holidays all through school. Needless to say, I was really, really very interested in applied arts. Had I not been a designer, I probably have gone into architecture or interior design or something. So at the age of 21, I had finished my studies in textile designing and further studies in fashion from NIFT Delhi. And I worked for some time in the field, and I found that around 26 years of age, I found myself in Hoskas Village, which was, at that time, Hoskas Village was like the fashion village of India. And subsequently, along with a bunch of other designers, set down my roots over there. And over the next couple of decades, did a lot of stuff with fashion. Around maybe 4 or 5 years ago, as I was getting towards the age of 50, I realized there were a few things missing in my life. I mean, I had given a lot of time. You said something about taking out time. I had taken a lot of time from family, raising kids, running 2 companies for my interests. And I love to sing, I love to trek, I love scuba diving, reading, a lot of stuff which many of us like to do.
I'm sure with the army background, you got a lot of these opportunities. Right?
Yes, initially yes, but after the army background, I think as adults, it's more a choice, like you had said, right. Finding time. So one was the environment, and then was the element of choice. And I found that there were a couple of things which, as a creative person, I strongly believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that there is some kind of a universal consciousness which, similar kind of ideas you will find coming out of different parts of the world. We find that as designers and creative people, but even in larger life you will see. So in last few years, there has been this kind of awareness of what human beings are doing to the planet. So there's that whole, increase in eco-consciousness. And then as a designer, I found that slow fashion was something that I really, really wanted to support and address. So I went that way. And a lot of my collections had, elements of like versatile garments, which again support slow fashion. That means you're decreasing your consumption. And then in my personal life, I realized that there was things like age shaming that I wanted to counter. So I had a few, like-minded people, and for example, like Hindustan Times, Cosmopolitan India, I did some campaigns with them against age shaming. So
come back to you now.
Okay.
If you can move on to Tulika.
So hi everyone, how are you? How's it going? Enjoying your time here? Great. So my name's Tulika Singh, and as Mr. Vanshu must have mentioned, I'm an army kid and grew up changing 12 schools. And the one thing that, if I could say, and I want to get in before somebody else takes over, is the one thing that you could ask for in your life, what would it be? That's the question that I want to ask all of you. The one thing. If it's not what you're doing right now, how could you add it? So that's just really what I want to leave you all with. I studied advertising, but I didn't do it. That's the topic, no academics, talent unleashed. And I really wanted you to know that just because you studied something doesn't mean you have to keep at it. I did advertising for a long time. I even pursued it, and then one day I was like, this is it, I'm done. I want something else, and I want something more. So I almost joined a political firm. I work with art. I tried a lot of things. I started a jewelry business. And then somewhere down the line, while I was trying out all these things and breaking the boxes that I was put in, I found life coaching, and I work with an organization called Access Consciousness, and we're all about infusing consciousness in every aspect of our life, and that is something that makes me whole. And yet, that's still not the only thing I do. And like I said, I also scuba dive. I still do a whole lot of other things. So how much more could we add to our lives every day? And I hope I leave you with that.
One element of design also. Okay, so Parul, over to you.
Hello everyone, and thank you for being here, for listening to us during lunch. I know, really appreciate it. My name is Parul Lori, and I'm the editor of Momspresso. It's a content platform for women. We create and curate content that's of hope, inspiration, knowledge, and comfort to women. So that's really across the board. We talk about, we ask women to share their own stories, and we have experts who give information. I started working with them. I was a founder editor, started creating content for them way back in 2010. And today it has become such an important part of my life that I can't really call it work any longer. Just being able to share stories, get people's stories, being able to make a difference in their lives has now become a part of my purpose also. I'm a Navy kid. As we were talking about, that's another common thread that runs through over here. Changed schools many times, and had fun doing that. I mean, I think it taught me a lot. It taught me adaptability more than anything else. And I think that's a lot of that part is what we bring into our lives, into our work today. I have 2 children, and motherhood is a very, very important part of my life. It's not my entire identity, but as we will come to that maybe a little later when we're talking, motherhood has shaped a lot of who I am today, and I credit my daughters for unleashing the creativity that I own so proudly now.
Thank you.
So, yeah.
Wonderful. Ashwini?
Thank you, Vijay. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm an ex-hotelier with a very short span of about 25 years in the industry. And I'm surrounded by the army kids. But let me tell you, I've had a tougher career. I'm an army son-in-law, so it's more difficult to be sandwiched between the wife and the general. So very well trained for almost 30 years. Well, I think briefly, I feel that we are all professionals. We are all wonderful things we all do. But my learning since when I was dividing my life journey 5 years, 10 years, 15 years onwards, is basically the crux is that each time, every stage of your life, we all have certain fears, certain aspirations, and certain comfort zones. I think out of the 3, which is the toughest thing that you want to do in life at any stage is the fear factor, what you fear most. You know, as a kid, I had the stage fright, so pushed on stage at the age of 5. So that fear kind of disappeared. Mom pushed me on stage. Then I had a fear of this cricket ball hitting me. So you go and play that, and you become a captain. I said, no, this wasn't really that bad. Being in front of the camera, so I went and did modeling for that time, and I did for several years in my hotel career. I always thought if I ever learn golf, I'm going to hit somebody or get hit myself. But it wasn't so bad. And like all children, I see some school children over here, universally hate mathematics. So I was miserable in maths. And I fought this, I said, this is a fear to deal with. So I ended up doing BSc honors in maths and MSc in mathematics. Let me see how far the subject was created by somebody. And that was out of just sheer passion of trying to do it. So I feel maybe all of us will have something which we do differently or different things. It's all about doing the same thing differently and not about doing different things. That's more important. So I leave it to, Jaideep is a real life Mr. Bond here to talk about something about himself.
But before that, Ashwini, I saw your bio. I was just going to go through this. You were a cricket captain in school, so you beat me to it. I'm a cricketer myself. I play a lot of cricket, and I still do at the hotel. And I have a team. We won 3 tournaments in the last 9 years. We won 2 tournaments. We were 3 times runners-up. So five trophies for my hotel in the last 10 years. And I really wish I had played a little more to reach some level, but anyway, that's it. You always do, what is best suitable at that stage of life. And the other thing that I envy him. He's a model. And believe me, I do modeling myself, not to the level that he does. I do a bit of casual modeling, and he's done a role in a movie, and I appeared in the movie Fitur for 1 minute, so I'm very proud to be on the screen. Movies is something, just a little lighter stuff, that when I was leaving school, I wanted to join the Pune Film Institute, but I joined the Pusa Institute by mistake. And I did hotel management. So that's how destiny brings you where you are. And I would have been in the army like Colonel Jaideep. I couldn't. I really wanted to join the army, honestly speaking. And I still feel they would give a chance to people like us to go and serve 1 year in the army and to help you to understand what army is all about. And what do the army, the officers, the soldiers sitting at -38, just a quick incident, before I give you, I read an article about George Fernandez, who was the defense minister. And like very often in organizations and government, one babu was sitting on a paper which was to purchase snowmobiles for the people in Siachen border. And the babu took 2 months to sign that paper. You know what George Fernandez did? He sent the babu for 2 months to Siachen. And to understand and feel why these snowmobiles were required. And I think that's the passion. And one must do it. You must do what you have to do. If you don't do what you have to do, somebody else may go and take the lead. But don't miss that opportunity. You get a chance, grab it. Like I said, the opportunity comes once in a while. And that's, what I feel about taking the choices as they come. So over to Colonel Jaideep.
Thank you so much, all my fellow guest speakers, for the wonderful way that everybody is speaking about women empowerment and the army especially. But anyway, trust me, after this I'm not going to talk about the army at all, except for just mentioning that the motivation for joining the army was my father. He too was in the army. He was a general, he's no more. And in the 70th war, I still remember my father leaving for patrol. He was the commanding officer. And I put on his boots, which were spare, and I put on his uniform and started following him, So I said, Dad, can I carry your carbine? So he handed me his carbine, and for good about 5 kilometers, I followed him, He said, okay, go back, this is a real situation, there's a war going on. So very reluctantly, I turned back. But that was the day I took a decision, one day I'm going to join the army. And I think, so my brother, I got an elder brother, he's a serving general today, like my dad was. And he beat me to it, of course. But thereafter, in September 87, I was a commissioned officer. I joined the OTA. We were in the tanks, me and my brother. So anyway, so this is just a little background of my side. The main thing, focus of my being here today, and so welcomed by Mr. Wangchu, is that I have been an instructor when the first Krav Maga, it's an Israeli self-defense course was held in this country. I was, I attended that and became an instructor, and that was 2005. I was lucky enough to have been doing a, study leave from the army in that period. So I said, what can be a better way to follow passion, which I wanted to do when I was a child. Now, as a child, I would be picked upon by bigger hulks, And so in 9th class, there was a demo by this judo black belt guy who, one of our friends, classmates would learn judo, and he would, So this guy gave a demo, but it was the instructor beating up and throwing him again and again. And at the end of the demonstration, the classmate of ours was looking frazzled, I said, no, this can't be a martial art which, I want to learn. This guy is getting thrashed. Where is the fun in this? Well, anyway, so time passed, and of course, one day I happened to bump into, I heard Muhammad Ali is coming for a boxing exhibition. So I wanted his autograph. I wanted to meet the great man. And that was 79 and he came to Moriar's. He was staying there. I went up to him. I wanted to ask him, how do you handle bullies? Can you punch him this way, that way? But all he did was, sir, can I shake hands? So we shook hands. I took his autograph and I was left speechless. I didn't know what to ask him. And well, that opportunity went away. But like he said, Mr. Vanshu said, when opportunity comes, grab it. And 2005, when I came to know that the first Krav Maga course by an international IKMF organization, which is in the world's best today, is having an instructor course. I just joined it. And from there, I continued training and teaching people. But after taking VRS from the army in 2009, it has been my aim to teach women of all ages, self-defense. Now the third thing is, normally, when we go for self-defense class, we have fear in our mind. This can happen to you, that can happen to you. But no, listen, if you just practice just 10 minutes a day and very intelligently, you don't have to have any fear in you. So my aim ever since 2012 has been to spread awareness about self-defense. I don't belong to any organization. I've learned whatever there could be. And I keep taking small workshops and seminars. I go to schools. Colleges very rarely invite me. I think it's not a very important agenda for them. They would rather have some rock star or some Bollywood hero standing there and taking the mic and dancing away. I don't have that kind of publicity campaign going on for me. So I just keep putting a word anywhere, everywhere. I see a young person, a young girl. I say, please invite me. Here's my card. Gather around a group of women, girls, anybody, and I'll take a free workshop. Thank you so much.
Sorry.
Okay, no.
Carry on.
So, the last workshop that I had was for the Women's Day. Somebody organized it. And I said, look, it's just don't worry about anything. Just learn these few strikes because, there is never a set piece answer. If you learn 4 techniques, you may be assaulted by the 5th technique which you haven't been trained for. So might as well just learn the strikes, a few defensive things, and remember these few points. So before I even hand over the mic, so I would say just remember one thing. Remember this in your code, BBC. So that means BBC stands for block, body defense, counter strike immediately, scan and escape. These are the few things you remember all your life, and that's it that you really need to know.
Talking about Muhammad Ali, who was earlier known as Cassius Clay, there was a very famous song, he stings like a butterfly and floats like a bee.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you had an opportunity to meet him, an idol, because you were a boxer and you were, into karate. I had an idol, and when I was in school, 11th to 12th, 11th class, we didn't have 12th in those days, Mansoor Ali Khan Pataudi. You must have all heard of him. And for me, he was a god of cricket. Today, Sachin Tendulkar. In our days, it was Mansoor Ali Khan Pataudi. And I had an opportunity to meet him once at Firozshah Kotla. When he just passed by me, I ran for an autograph, and his hand was fractured. He was not playing that test match. So all he did was he put his hand on my shoulder. He said, son, wait, I'll come back. And I wish we had mobile phones those days to take a picture. But I had that opportunity in the year 74. And sometime in the year 2010, I met Mansoor Ali Khan Pataudi and his wife Sharmila Tagore and became good friends with them. And that's something, an opportunity when you get, and you feel great when you meet somebody. Anu, you talked about scuba diving, right? In one of your, I read somewhere. And, I was just talking to Tulika. She came with me from the hotel. And I said, look, Tulika, I have fear of heights or of fear of being locked in a small, cupboard. And she's helped me getting out of it. During that 15 minutes, I think, in the car, when she spoke, I felt better. But at the same time, I have done skydiving. So my son sitting there, we were in South Africa, and, he did skydiving with me. First time in my life I did skydiving. My wife sitting behind she has learned music when she was young. She gave up. Today she started learning music back again, and she's still young, as Dr. Harbeen said. So skydiving is something I'm sure, Colonel, you must have done.
No.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was in the tanks especially, so most of the time I spent in the tanks.
So you better do that.
Yeah, that's to be on the done list, yeah.
Okay. So coming from skies to the depths. So Anu, tell us something about your scuba diving experience. And Tulika herself has done scuba diving. So a lot of common things.
Okay, so, well, before scuba diving was my fear of diving actually, because as a kid I was a great swimmer. But every time I tried to dive, I would fall flat on my stomach. Maybe it was, you know, the instructor who was to blame or whatever. But I kind of just shied away from ever doing, you know, diving from a diving board. I must have been nearly 40 years old, and I found myself in this army cantonment, the swimming pool there, with loads of, because it was a student community of young officers there. So loads of young officers all around, my teenage kids. And I decided I'm going to learn how to dive. So my daughter, she said, Mom, are you sure? You know, there's like so many people who are just sitting there on the side of the pool watching what you're doing. I said, I really don't care. I'm 40 and, you know, it doesn't matter to me who watches, who doesn't. So that was great because often you hold back from what could be a talent for you just because of fear of something, you know, what will people say, or, you know, what if I fall flat on my stomach again, etc., etc. So yeah, I managed to, I had somebody guiding me, and that was my first dive from a diving board, and that was like, it really felt good. I felt so empowered. I felt like I can like do anything. And then a few years later, I happened to be in Thailand with my husband, Ashwini. And, you know, it was a travel trade show happening, and there was some time. So I said, okay, I'm going to try my hand at scuba diving. And sure enough, I found myself in the sea, and we went out in a small boat. Normally, scuba diving efforts are done, you know, in larger groups, and then the instructors take you out in a larger boat. But this was like almost like a rowboat, and we found ourselves in the middle of the ocean with my husband sitting over there and waiting for me to come up. Went down inside. It was beautiful. I never wanted to finish. For anybody who's ever been down into the ocean, they will agree that you just want to remain there. So yeah, and then subsequently a lot of dives. But what really made it worthwhile for me with anything that I've ever pursued is how it's impacted my own kids, how it's impacted a lot of women around me, because mostly, you know, women shy away from any kind of adventure activities or anything which is, you know, considered to be not a womanly thing. So, but anyway, so the really amazing thing for me was when my son and I went scuba diving together. He was a little boy, and they're both certified scuba divers now. So this really makes me feel good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. So we're going to start winding up, and I'll go back to Colonel. And Colonel, I'm sure 5-10 minutes is a very short time to talk and, you know, share. I'm sure there are many other things that you may want to share. So tell me, you know, of all the things that we talked about, what is that one thing which you feel really is close to your heart and that you've really gained, you know, spiritually, emotionally, physically, financially maybe?
Okay, I would not talk much about the financial part, but I would definitely say that having experienced the combat Krav Maga, which is so, you know, advertised as such a macho thing where you get injured when you take a class, and mind you, when we started in 2005, we had a lot of injuries happening. And when I teach, and when I, women especially, and children, girls, I say, no, you don't have to go through all that. I have taken that bit for you people, you know. I know how the hard way I've learned. I don't want you people to do that. So learn it the safe way. You don't have any point to prove. So I make them strong by giving them tips upon strength building. It has made me also realize that whatever earlier the thing was, now when I look at it spiritually, like you said, you need to be soft from inside. You don't have to be scared all the time. There is no fear. What's fear about? So if with discipline you have been practicing this self-defense, I would say self-defense, you don't have to be fear about anything. So, you know, inwards, slowly I start realizing that what was taught so hard, you know, such a macho thing, I'm wearing this thing, t-shirt, black t-shirts, ha, 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 come back, oh, I'm aching, and this is aching. No. When I teach, I say, please avoid contact. Don't hurt yourself. Learn these strikes, learn these techniques, but after that, practice every day. Make yourself more, flexible, agility, and that's all. So I learned, and whatever I learned from all this was, stay soft, take the time to enjoy yourself. Restrict these activities to the bare minimum so that you walk confidently wherever you go, wherever situation you are, you know you can handle it. So what's there to be afraid of? So take time off and enjoy yourself.
And is there something that you still want to do and it's not part of your achievements?
I'll just share the secret with you. I once enrolled in the French class, I wanted to, what's life, back again as a civilian. I want to, start learning some new language. I was bad at it.
Wonderful.
I failed, I think, miserably.
Wonderful.
But that is World Music Day. So I participated in that and I sang a song from the Beatles song among all the young crowd that was there. And mind you, it was tough. My heart was beating like, oh God, no, what if I forget the lines? So I held a piece of paper and said, excuse me, but I got to read out the song for you guys. So.
Thanks. Parul. So quickly, in a minute, what is something, out of all the things that you've done, what have you really liked best? And something that you haven't done and you want to do? In a minute, please.
So I think theatre definitely tops the list in terms of things that I've done that have impacted my life. So I grew up, I won't say a shy child, but certainly a huge amount of social anxiety, fear of public speaking. I could not have done this, if I had not gone through my theatre experience. A lot of years of shying away from auditions, running away from school show auditions, etc. And finally, when friends of mine who run a fabulous production house, a theatre production house, when they called me for an audition for one of their acclaimed Women's Day productions, I finally said, okay, this is now or never. You were talking about that light bulb which goes on. So that was my epiphany, that if I don't face this fear today, I'm never going to be able to do it. So I went for that audition, got through, to my absolute shock and surprise, and my very first role was a 3-minute monologue. I died. I mean, that 3 minutes was probably, wo 3 minutes. Those are the longest of my life. 7, 8 productions later, that is of course with them. I am also heading the video business of our company. I'm sitting here today. I've been a TEDx speaker. I've anchored about 200 video shows, panel discussions, interviews, lives. I have clocked about 4,000 minutes of digital airtime. So it's all because of theatre. It's all because I took that one call to say that, okay, this has to be done. I have to face my fears. You talked about it as well, Ashwini. That's really the thing which makes a difference.
Thank you so much. You got 60 seconds each, Ashwini and
Go on.
Tulika. Just 60 seconds each.
My name is Ashwini. I want to thank all of you for being there. One incident, my wife always pushes me, this paragliding, I have all the fears. So I said, I thought I'll be on a boat, boat will go and I'll go in the air and that's paragliding. She says, no, the army style. You follow a jeep with a parachute. I'm running behind a jeep, can you imagine? If I fall, then what? Bloody hell, I'm running with my life and suddenly I just go up. So that was the turning point. But thank you very much, everyone. I'll pass on to Tulika.
And Tulika, we talked about scuba diving and something that you really want to do further in your profession.
So I keep adding things, and that's something that I told you guys as soon as I started talking, is like keep adding things to your life. And what scuba diving and what doing so many things, if there's anything that I learned from any of it, it was like anything is possible. And I don't just mean that in this affirmation, wow, anything is possible. Truly, anything is possible. If you're willing to get unboxed, if you're willing to believe that there's not a box for you, no one can box you. You're all infinite beings. You're bigger than you imagine. You're bigger than anything that's ever happened to you. Thank you. And you're bigger than your situations. You're bigger than your financial situation. You're bigger than everything. And only you can unleash yourself. No one else can. Thank you.
So to wind up, I'd just like to add that during my last 10 years at the Imperial, I made a lot of friends with Bollywood stars. And Anupam Kher is like an elder brother to me. And one day I asked him, Anupam ji, आप ये कैसे कर लेते हो? इतने सारे roles हैं, आप you're amazing, serious roles, comedy. So he just had one answer. He says, acting करने से आती है. And that's why I'm saying, जो भी हम कर रहे हैं, वो करने से आता है. You can keep thinking, you can keep dreaming, but if you don't do it, it's there, it won't happen. Like somebody says, it's great to have a million wishes, but doing that one act practically is what is more important. And the last thing is, when I learned from a guru of mine, and he was my ex-boss when I was the F&B manager, he says, Vijay, how's everything? And my answer would be, everything is all right. And the answer that he gave me, no Vijay, if everything is all right, then there is something wrong somewhere. Actually, it's true for the industry that I work in, because everything cannot be all right. So we have to take life as it comes and move on. So thank you very much, my panelists. Thank you, Dr. Arora, for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vijayji, for really taking out the time to curate this beautiful plenary, which helped all of us get in touch with the child inside of us. And the title is very apt for that. No academics. That's what children say, right? Padna nahi hai, you know. So it's so nice that, get out of our zones of whatever we do professionally, but never forget to do those things. My guru used to say, change of work is rest. So each one of those things that you change and do this and that adds more rest to you, fills you up with more soulfulness, more consciousness. So thank you for adding that bit of joy to life and saying, don't be theoretical, go out there and just do the things. Life is so short, and like you said, just enjoy life. Learn what you have to do, but just enjoy life. So adding joy to life with these beautiful panelists over here. Please give them a round of applause.
Ladies and gentlemen, we take great pride in honoring this esteemed group of panelists. I now request Mr. Vijay Vanshu to join Dr. Harbin Arora in presenting the award. To Parul Sharma for being an exceptional woman of excellence. To Anuradha P. Dhawan for being an exceptional woman of excellence. Ashwani Sagar Dhawan, exceptional woman of excellence, exceptional leader of excellence and innovation. Colonel Jaideep Singh, exceptional leader of excellence. Ladies and ladies, use your chum-chams. Parul Ori, exceptional woman of excellence. Tulika Singh, exceptional leader of excellence. I now request the guests to please come together for a group photograph.
some young innovators. Can we hear it for the young innovators in the house? No, I think we'll have to replicate their energy level. How do we do that? I think we're going to have to stand. We're going to have to move a little bit. Should we do that? Should we stand? Or is that too much work? I think we should stand. I think they deserve it. I think we should stand. Okay, we'll make music.
Clapping will give you energy.
Clapping.
I promise.
Because this creates so much energy in our hands, right? Okay, Manmita, just do this for a moment. Just energize your hands. And that looks so beautiful.
It's a gentleman
Take them
right
up.
behind you. Look,
Take
look.
them up. Reach higher. 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 Oh my God, I'm becoming taller, Manu. Okay, bring the hands from around you in front of your heart center. Take a big breath in. And expand. And become tall. Reach. Reach for the sky. Sky. Reach for the sky.
Reach for the akash.
I don't know if you realize it, but we can see you guys from here. So you can't cheat.
Come on, boys. Reach for yourself.
Beautiful. Exhale. Bring the hands around you and down. Relax the shoulders. Okay, relax the arms. Relax the arms.
Jiggle
okay,
it.
Shoulders. Deep inhale in. Exhale the shoulder out. Leave the arms. Leave the arms. Shoulders. Shoulders up. And drop them down. Shoulders up. Drop them down. Like a coach that's hanging on a hanger, right? So
It falls.
inhale. And drop it down. Awesome. Okay, neck. 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 Knee. Okay, bring the neck down. Bring the neck down. Follow the vision. As you bring it down, chin to chest. Inhale. Bring the chin up. Follow the gaze. Follow the gaze. To the sky. The sky, beyond the ceiling. Exhale one more time, chin to chest. And inhale up, neck to neutral. Relax the neck. Just relax the neck. With the music, yes. Okay, now just the hands. But there should be a rhythm. Oh, I lost the rhythm.
I'm trying to catch up now as well.
Thank you so much. Did you eat lunch? Yeah, that's why there was so much energy.
But I
so
think
full
they
power.
ate all the carbs and the dessert.
Yeah,
That's
you
it.
guys are so full power. It's so amazing. Do we have the young innovators with us? We're calling your names now.
Akshara Tivata.
Tatiwala.
Akshara Tatiwala.
Akshara, come. Please join us on the stage. Musica.
She is the founder and CEO of Sonara Melody, India. A big round of applause for Akshara.
Welcoming Akshara. Saloni Sahara. Neama Gustono Celestina Marvel. What a stately name to a stately young innovator. Welcoming Neama from Cameroon. That's not very close. That's a long way away. She needs a little bit more chum-chum than that.
Louise
Running the...
Brooks.
I'm so sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry, she runs the Thriving Youth Leader Initiative along with Louise Brooks Jala. Partners in crime. Louise
Is Luis here? Neama, is Luis here? Oh, you're not together.
Not a problem. With that, we'll begin with our first speaker to please come up on stage and share your wisdom with us. Akshara, welcome. A big round of applause for Akshara.
Hi, good afternoon everyone. Hi. Good, there's some energy. So I'm Akshara Tatiwala. I am a very privileged girl from a liberal background. I had good fortune of growing up in a family that always saw me as my own person and never really defined me by my gender. Since I was little, I was asked to make my own decisions. I was encouraged to do whatever I wanted to do. I ended up taking theater, mountaineering, dancing, golfing, and I was also a cadet in the National Cadet Corps. Community service was also an integral part of my upbringing. I would teach music and counsel underprivileged children whenever I got the time. So being involved in so many things at that time, I think really sculpted my personality. It made me really self-confident. I give all the credit to my family. I think children should always be encouraged to take into new ventures, really explore themselves and realize their full potential. So I was always good at music and studies. After completing my Visharad in 10th standard, I went to the UK to pursue my bachelor's in accounting and finance and master's in management. Even with all that work pressure and all the part-time jobs that I was doing, I found time every single day to practice music. So even when life takes a turn, you should always hold on to things that are really important to you and that really warm your soul. I came back to India in 2015 and started working full-time with my parents at Tatiwala's, our precious jewelry brand. I am the 10th generation in this field, so it was expected of me. It did take me some time to adjust back to working culture, but when I did, I loved working there. I'm working full-time with diamonds. What's not to love? After establishing myself in business, I wanted to take my passion more seriously. I sang my first solo, Haryala Bana, in 2017, which got a lot of love from all of Rajasthan. It has over 1.7 million views on YouTube. That really gave me confidence to work hard. I set my own production company called Sonara Melody and started making my own music videos. The first song that I did under this label, Khwab, it received Best Direction Award at the Chambal International Film Festival, and it was also nominated for Dada Sahab Phalke Film Festival this year. Thank you. The second song that I did, Sun Le Zara, it has over 1.1 million views on YouTube. So, I have a lot of new projects underway and I'm super excited about all of them. The key to success, I think, is really having confidence in yourself. You should know who you are and really work towards it. Always give your 100% in whatever you do. So even if you fail, you won't have any regrets. At least you did your best. That is what matters. Another really important thing that I understood from my experience is that a passion and your profession can be completely different things, and that's completely all right. I am a jeweler by profession, and I'm a singer by passion, and I love balancing both of them together. I think having that balance is very important. I think everybody should find that passion, and you should have things you do and things you love to do, and really balance both of them together. That is most important. So having that perfect balance is really the key to your happiness and to your success. So thank you so much for listening to my story. It's such an honor to be here. I thank the Women Economic Forum for inviting me here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Akshara. May I say that you shine like a diamond, and also you sound like a diamond.
Thank you very much.
That's so beautiful. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for doing the work you do. If I could invite Nyama, coming from Cameron, the coordinator for Thriving Youth Leaders Initiative.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is Nyama Marvel, and I'm 21 years old. I'm from Cameroon.
insurance in your life, whether it is personal insurance, property insurance, crop insurance. But the mission teaches them the value of their money which they earn, the value of their own life insurance. So when we talk about Pradhan Mantri Bima Suraksha Yojana, 12 rupees. People may have a mobile phone, but they don't understand that by having an insurance of 12 rupees, a mere 1 rupee a month, you can insure your life against any unforeseen activities. So that is financial inclusion. Then economic inclusion. So having financially understood what is money, to take part in economic activities, because the ultimate aim of the mission is for sustainable livelihoods. So sustainable livelihoods is of 3 kinds. One is like enhancing the productivity of the person, whether through farming, having organic farming, better methods of farming. So if you have a rice field, then systemic rice intensification, bettering the product, or getting better ways to make tool or soybean which we eat, or even cotton. Having allied activities like poultry or goatry. And the third part is killing. So I'm really happy to share that the mission, when I joined, we were having 80,000 self-help groups, and over the span of 2.5 years, I have been able to increase the number to 3.8 lakh in this span, and the whole of Maharashtra now presently is facilitated to have self-help groups. Our outreach is 40 lakh households. So we don't work only with women, because as he rightly said, or as Madam rightly said, that if you enable the woman is not enough. The family, the household has to be, encouraged to participate in such activities. So wherever the mission is working, the mission works for the empowerment of the family, of the household. So the husband, the woman is a member of the house, the SHG, but the household is allowed to be part of the economic activity. So apart from the self-help groups, we have the next level, because community organization does not rest in the village. We have village organizations, about 9,000 of them, and cluster level federations, because ultimately the goal is to have economic activities through clusters. So what we are doing is small enterprises, enabling women, and I'm really happy to even share that what we follow is something known as Dasha Sutri. So what is Dasha Sutri, the cardinal principles for which I stand? It's regular meetings. Women have to come together, meet together, have meetings so that they connect with each other, just like you all are connecting with each other today. Yeah. If this platform was not there, you wouldn't know the greatest achievements which all of you all have done. Each one of you is a woman of standing here. Each one of you has achieved something in your life, and it's possible to connect. This forum is there. So similarly, a self-help group enables that environment. Then you have regular meetings, you learn to save. Imagine a rural place where you earn only 200 rupees in a day. And even that 200 rupees, if you're not able to save, if your husband takes it away from you, drinks it up, blows it up somewhere, you don't even know what to do. So we inculcate habits of saving in those women. They save the small money, they internally lend amongst themselves. They understand the value of repaying those money. Today, if you go to a village, a woman might borrow 10 rupees from you, but she will rest at peace only when she returns that 10 rupees. So that quality of a woman we try to harness. So she's returning the money, and then she's writing books of accounts, because transparency, accountability, these are the pillars of the movement on for which I work. And Maharashtra being progressive, we added 5 more aspects. So health, nutrition, sanitation is something which we really impress on, because a woman will be cooking food, she will be doing everything for the family, but coming to eating for her own self, taking care of her own nutrition, you will find कि बच्चे को दे दो, पति को दे दो, सास ससुर को दे दो, but अपने आप ना खा. So to inculcate the value of having a balanced diet, following the practices of nutrition and sanitation, you'll be surprised to know that only 17% of the women use sanitary napkins. So Maharashtra came up with an ambitious project of having affordable sanitary napkins by the name of Asmita, so that the woman can get cheap sanitary napkins in the village. Secondly, you hesitate to buy. Today, even if I have to go and buy sanitary napkins at a medical shop, you hesitate to ask for it. So when a woman trades in sanitary napkins, it becomes simpler. So that was one of the very important aspects we took under health and nutrition and sanitation. Education we emphasize on, participating in Panchayati Raj institutions, taking benefit of several schemes which we have in the government, and of course finally sustainable livelihoods. So the mission is really huge, and I'm really happy that I could come and discuss this on this forum, because not many know the kind of activities we do and the kind of activities the whole government of India is doing. So this mission is existing in all over the country, in every state. And almost about more than 1 crore of women are connected through this mission throughout the country. So that is the value the mission brings to the nation, to the state. And I'm extremely happy that I have been able to introduce this concept to you, maybe totally new. Maybe you may be wondering what I'm talking about, Dashasutri and self-help groups, and probably, totally disconnect. But I would really invite you. I'd like to share the story of a woman, if you permit me. A woman from Osmanabad, which she got married when she was 16. She was pregnant when she was 18. And after she was pregnant, her husband told her that you get dowry or we will chuck you out. She could not get dowry from her parents, so she refused. She said, I cannot get dowry. Her husband and in-laws poured oil over her and tried to burn her. The woman escapes from that house, comes back to her parents' place, and parents say that is your home, you go back to your home. She didn't know where to go. 4 years ago, this is a true story which I am narrating to you. So she came to Umaid, the mission which we run, and then if you want to participate in the mission, every self-help group has to regularly save. So 100 rupees saving has to be done. She did not have 100 rupees. But imagine a woman from rural India who herself is earning 100 rupees. She said, no, we will pay the 100 rupees for you. You participate in the self-help group. She came into the group, she gave birth to her child. Her face is discolored now, even now, because of she was burnt partially. She started selling bangles. She started with 1,000 rupees selling bangles. Today she sells bangles worth 1 lakh rupees per month. Per month. And you have to meet her to believe her. I hope some forum I'll be able to bring and present to her. So our mission is full of stories of such fierce women who have not only transformed their own lives, they're transforming the lives of millions of women. So I have 50,000 such community resource persons who go and stay in the village. They are known as Vardhinis, they are known as Krishi Sakhis, Pashu Sakhis. They are transforming the rural life. They are inspiring women to have the grit, to have the courage, to have the determination, to reach out and do good. So I'm really honored to be part of the mission here and to share this with you, and I look forward to support from you.
We all are truly honored to have you here, and also talking about your work on empowerment. I also need to ask you a bit more, because I know you face quite a few challenges, and in terms of empowering and making a difference to women's lives, tell us about how you faced challenges, because you've had so many different roles as IAS officer and so many different ones. Just share for a couple of minutes, please.
Personally, I've been fortunate to be born in a family which was quite progressive. I was able to study and achieve my goals of education. But career-wise, certainly when one reaches a position in life, being a woman, one has to make sacrifices, not being in those posts you want to be, perhaps not getting the posts also you want to be on. But at those points of time, one really regrets that one cannot do many things being a woman, one has to take care of the family also, so struggles are there. But personally for me, it was a growth and evolvement, because one has to balance life, and also my success is possible because of the support of my family and my husband. Today, if I'm able to talk to you, so when we talk about empowerment of women, it's very important to have the support of the family. Otherwise, it becomes very difficult. So family may be by way of, parents or husband or brother. Sometimes women, as you know, we are always at a vulnerable stage. So when we talk about, Women's Economic Forum here, we are talking about economic empowerment, but the attitude to look at a woman, the approach to women, why do crimes take place? Why are they perpetrated? Nobody really, thinks that sensitivity. So when you have tens of, forums like this, where people talk about economic empowerment, the sensitivity, when we can talk about becoming a Devi, we can talk about becoming the biggest, deified person in this world. But when it comes to a normal human being, like the story of Osmanabad, I said the lady Rupali, ultimately it comes to the fact that a lot of women face inequality in life. A lot of women have to undergo a lot of difficulties, whether it is, physically, whether it is eve teasing, whether it is different kinds of crimes which are perpetrated against women. Also not having the opportunity to be equal in a society. So either you're allowed to be there by someone, or then you have to grab that opportunity. And then when you grab the opportunity, also if a man grabs the opportunity and a woman grabs the opportunity, things become slightly different. So how do you, balance that. So you have to learn your way.
Thank you, and I think it's quite inspiring. And Kishorji, if you want to add.
In connection with Madam what says, I would share our stories that we are from Maharashtra, and in the region of Maharashtra, Raigad district is there, where we have started one self-help groups. There are more than 30 women in that group, and initially we started essential manufacturing, and initially it was a manufacturing of 50 kgs. Today's we are manufacturing 20 tons per month.
Wow!
That all women are very well self-established, self-economically stable, and all that is because of our humble efforts and all that.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, without the support and without the perseverance, it's difficult.
Connecting to that, what is our mission is, see, our traditional education is there, but along with traditional education, we want to spread really entrepreneurial skills to our rural girls and women. For that, we are now clubbing our educational institute along with some manufacturing activities like sanitation napkin and all that. We are already promoting the movie which already Adesh discussed that day.
We have a young producer here, and I met him at the London Asian Film Festival, where a lovely movie in terms of empowering women, Ek Beti Hai Vardhanya, Adesh Gupta. It was lovely, and the movie is really good, so I think, ladies, we need to support him. Cham cham. Thank you. I'm just conscious of the time. I know quite a few women who do similar work in different regions. Please connect with Virmalaji, and it would be, I'm sure it would be great. Thank you. A big round of applause to both of them.
I would not say thank you, but because that will be too formal. But I would like to bonded with your love forever. And Mrs. Dr. Arora ji, what is your mission? We'll try to spread your message and connect more and more women in your mission. I won't call this event. This will be the mission, and we are with you in this mission.
Definitely, and that is part of it, and that's how it is. Yeah, we have a lovely young Khushbu Jain. I mean, she is very, very specialized within the legal sector. And we are really delighted to have a part on our plenary as well. So Khushbu, can you please introduce yourself and tell a bit about yourself? Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm advocate, I'm practicing advocate in Supreme Court. It's been almost 7 years that I've been practicing. So I've been part of a lot of commercial matters, corporate crimes. Corporate has been one of my forte for past few years. But then last 2 years there is a slight shift as to crimes in a digital space. And the most affected are the women. 80% of, out of let's say 100%, it's just 30% where it has turned out to be, in a relief. Rest, nothing becomes a relief. Half of the people, half of the women would not come down to your place to, even register a complaint or to, register that something like that has come up. So there has been a huge shift in that line, and there has been a huge shift whereas my practice area has been concerned. Last 2 years I've had a lot of focus shift towards with regard to the crime, cybercrime specific or IT related issues. Social footfall of women have increased past few years, and it's been doubling, I think, every day. Women, digital literacy is too important, whereas any sphere is concerned, be it, right from selling of clothes to education to any aspect, to socializing. So women footfall has increased, and that's a commendable thing to do, to have it. But at the same time, there have been issues with regard to the crime. There is an increase in crime in the cyberspace. The same area I'm focusing on.
Oh, thank you, Khushbu. We are a bit short of time, but we had another speaker on cybercrime, and Khushbu would be, I know it is very much where there's a lot of cyberbullying takes place. So please do grab Khushbu, because I know quite a few ladies have been hawked, and quite a number of things have happened within the social media. So please do get some legal advice. And I think we'll end this session, and I'm really pleased to welcome our Global Chair, Dr. Harbin Arora, on the fora. And we'll do the presentation of awards. But before I do that, there is also going to be a plenary from UK later on today. And would also like to officially welcome you to Women Economic Forum London, which is taking place in November, 18th and 19th November. So that is, so ladies and gentlemen, that gives you enough time to plan in case you're planning. In fact, I shouldn't say in case, please do come. There is a lot of exciting things happening during November. So thank you, and now I pass over to Dr. Harbeen Arora.
Thank you so much. I would like to thank our soul sister Krishna ji for bringing all of you here. Each one of you is such an impact leader in your own sphere, and we are so enriched with your offer of support. I wholeheartedly accept your very generous offer of support, and your sisters. We have a mission million for 2022, connecting 1 million women entrepreneurs, and of course I need each one of you helping, and where you are connected to thousands of women and thousands of people. We need women and men together in this endeavor. So I really am very grateful for your gesture of support. Thank you so much for being here.
Come. Yes. I invite Krishna and Harbeen, please come together for the presentation ceremony. Calling upon Kishore Chandrakant Dharia, as we acknowledge him as a leader of the decade in public service. Calling upon Virmala R. The Women Economic Forum is honored to bestow upon you a leader of the decade in politics. Khushbu Jain, please accept this award as an exceptional woman of excellence at the Women Economic Forum. I think, does everyone have one of these in their hands? I don't see them. I'm starting to see them, but not very clearly. I think I tried going weak. Jennifer.
Can it be that close? state for the record. We're giving love in a family dog.
Shake your body. Shake these more movement. Yes.
We are family. Get up everybody and sing. Sing it to me. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up everybody and sing. Living life is fun and we've just begun to get our share of this world's delight. High hopes we had for the future and our goals in sight. We know we don't get depressed. Here's what we call our golden rule. Have faith in you and the things you do. You won't go wrong. Oh no, this is our family jewel. We are family. Sing it to me. I got all my sisters with me. Sing it to me. We are family. I can hear you guys. Get up everybody and sing. Have faith in you and the things you do. Hey, hey, I got all my sisters with me. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up everybody and sing. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up everybody and sing. Everyone can see we're together as we walk on by, and we fly just like birds of a feather. I won't tell no lie. All of the people around us, they say, can they be that close? Just let me state for the record, we're giving love in a family dog.
Wow. 2 more hours. 3, okay, 3, maybe 3 more hours.
You ladies are
Very
amazing.
quickly, just
Ladies
grab
and
somebody
gentlemen,
and give them a
amazing.
tight big hug.
Big hug.
Big hug. Grab someone and give them a big, big fat hug. And you know the rules. It can't be less than 4 seconds. Not less than 4 seconds.
Akash, come on, get up. One, come on. Inclusion, remember inclusion. Have you not? No, wait. Now. That much. Only a photo.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're now moving on to our next panel, Reclaiming Food with Farming. Because it just so happens that agriculture and farming is where our roots are. It is one of the wisest pursuits that we delve in as humans. And for that reason, we've put together this panel for you from across the world, women of influence from across the world. And it is our absolute honor to invite them on the stage.
We would like to call upon Dr. Rupal Tyagi to please come on stage. Rupal Tyagi.
Dr. Rupal, are you with us?
Chef Ritu Kugaji. A warm welcome.
Chef Ritu, the chef consultant and culinary expert at FitMag. Welcome. Allegro Dink Wanye. Allegro, are you here? Our South African sister. Sri Lakshmi Bansidhar. Sri Lakshmi is a Veena artist, a musician of great repute and a lawyer.
Stephanie Arma, Executive Assistant at Mastermind Incorporated from Ghana. Stephanie, are you with us? Miriam Kazimi, if I can please invite Miriam Kazimi to come up on stage. She is the CEO of Sungay.
Miriam coming from France.
She's definitely the fashionista this whole week.
Embracing India in her beautiful sari. She creates and develops projects in the solar energy space, creating farms and global solutions for farmers and corporates alike. An honor. France in the house!
Bernadette Rodriguez. If I can please call upon Bernadette Rodriguez to come up on stage. Welcome. She's coming all the way from Costa Rica.
Bernadita is the co-founder and business consultant of Firamento Business Assessment.
Shahnawaz Akhtar Jahan, founder of the Renaissance Group from Bangladesh.
Costa Rica in the house! Woo!
Shahnawaz Akhtar Jahan, are you with us? Mantasha Ahmed, all the way from Bangladesh. Sabina Shirazi Rosina Akhtar. Ladies from Bangladesh, a warm welcome.
My beautiful girls on this side of the stage. Krishna, the very popular sister. I request you guys settle down because this is an amazingly intriguing session. Thank you. A warm welcome to our sisters from Bangladesh. In their absolutely impeccable handlooms. Yes. We have a lady chef in the house, Chef Rutu Uday Gugagi. I welcome you to share your story with us and also to enlighten us with your views on reclaiming food through farming. I don't find anybody more appropriate to initiate this discussion on an afternoon where we've just been fed, our bellies are happy, we are ready to receive you. Please.
Point taken. How is everyone, guys? How's the energy? Okay. I am Dr. Rupal Tyagi, and I was not thinking that I would be speaking on farming because I'm more into the social research or advisory thing, but recently started working a little bit in the farming side. And I help social entrepreneurs, agri-entrepreneurs in helping raising working capital as well as advisory and policy recommendation, writing reports and all. So when I was reading all this stuff on agri sector and writing the report on it, that there are a lot of things which emerge and I would like to share here with you guys. In India, agriculture, basically this is the right word. So we have heard about IT sector, we have heard about manufacturing sector, but agri is a culture. Oh, why? Because agri is a lifestyle. Lifestyle, the way we live, our family values, even our festivals are basically on agri, like culture. That is actually our soul of the country, basic agriculture, right? But when we come to know about the women in the sector, what is the number? If I don't know how many of you knew that the number of women farmer is very, very large or very low. Any idea? Every farm, there are male farmers, but the ratio is the women farmers are also there, 10% male then versus 15% female farmers are there for even farming, harvesting, seeding, every they are doing. Especially in Northeast, if you go, then there are 100% women are responsible for farming activities. But the thing is that I have read recently that as per the policy, women are not considered as farmer. There is no documentation about women as a farmer. Recently, I had read a report that there are a lot of farmer suicide. I think everybody knows this is very, very disaster thing which is happening in the country, that farmers are suicide. But if there is a woman farmer who has committed suicides, the number will not be there. So 10 male, okay, they are farmers. But if there is a one female, the counting will not be there. So they are not considered as farmer. There is no documentation as per the policy. So just wanted to raise this question here and would like everyone to participate so that we can help policies to change and the women should be named as a farmer because their contribution is very, very large in this sector. And we should also urge the government to focus on the agriculture sector as a mandatory spend, especially for the CSR point of view. I would say 2% compulsory mandatory CSR, but there should be something, some portion out of CSR funding should be going to the agri sector. That's all I would like to say from this forum. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Dr. Tyagi. You said it the right way. We have such a huge contribution in the agriculture business. I mean, I would consider us being the backbone of it, women the backbone of it. So thank you for bringing that and working on the policy side of things as well. A big round of applause for you, Doctor. Next, I would like to invite, I know Ritu is not here, but I do know that Uday Kugaji is here, and he will be receiving her award. So a big round of applause for Udayji. Would you like to say a few words? Okay, so after when you receive the award, okay. Sri Lakshmi, if I can please invite Sri Lakshmi ji to come up on stage. Veena, artist and a lawyer. A big round of applause for you, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Reclaiming food with farming. Why are we discussing this topic in this forum? Because we are in an era where we want everything online, including food. We order food online, have it, wash your hands, move on. We don't know from where it is coming, what are the ingredients it is used, what are the responsibilities we have in cultivating that food. And we are proceeding towards an era where our great grandkids will Google searching the images of cultivable and arable land and show the pictures to the friend. Once upon a time, my great grandparents possessed. Poor thing. What an era we are moving. So, to reclaim food with farming, I have few humble requests like, let us recognize the agriculture profession as that of any other profession equal to the part to that of medicine, law, architecture, whatever it is, and also inculcate and educate the kids right from the primary school the art of farming. The school consumes acres and acres of lands. We are allotting for physics lab, chemistry lab, allot few cents of land for farming, such that they have an experiment with farming too, so that they get educated and also inculcate the habit of farming. And as they grow up, whether they're going to be an IT professional or architect or whatever it is, we work only 5 days a week. Let us enjoy the art of farming through the weekends instead of hitting the pubs and bars. I'm not against pubs and bars, at least on alternate weekends. So that will create an awareness in the youngsters and also other professionals about agriculture. And also I want the ancient wisdom and the innovative ideas from the farmers to combine together to have a reclaiming food with farming. See, I have a short story to discuss with you from my real life too, because basically I am a bachelor in chemistry, then a post-graduation in computer application, then again a master in applied psychology, then did my masters and bachelors in music, and finally LLB law. In the course of time, I didn't bother about a few acres of land which I inherited from my family. Till one fine day, one of my friends from US, she was here for some time before. She called me and let us see the coconut harvesting, which I haven't myself seen yet. So we both went to the farm and we saw the tree climbers climbing the coconut trees as if they're climbing the stairs and trying to touch the sky. We were so surprised and happy to see that. And after that, all the coconuts, end of the harvesting day, they were kept in heaps on the four corners of the farm. And suddenly there was a chaos, and I asked, what is the problem? The caretaker was holding on coconut in his hand and told me that this is supposed to be in the southern part, this is lying in the western part. What? Do you differentiate coconuts from all the areas? No, ma'am. Each and every coconut produces unique color and shape. If you do it carefully and watch it carefully, you will also know that. So it is time to learn farming now, I thought. So let me explore farming. I started going to the farm each and every day, and when I touch the stand in my hand and smell it, I feel insanely rich, whatever matter I own. So guys, I ask all my soul sisters and my friends gathered here, let us reclaim food with farming. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sri Lakshmi, for taking us on that journey. Because to everything there is a season, a time to plant and a time to pluck, a time to be born and a time to die. And so it continues. Thank you so much. I invite us to go to Costa Rica. I invite the lovely, we met her yesterday in generosity for a translation for her sister, Bernadita.
Okay. Well, good afternoon. Thank you everyone for being here. And I want to thank mainly to Dr. Harbin Arora, because she named me more than a year ago as an honorary member of the web. And that was a really, really honor for me. So thank you for giving me this opportunity. I was planning to show a video about Costa Rica, but there is no time. So let me tell you some facts about my country, okay? That you should really know, because we are more than 15,000 kilometers away from my country. And you should know that Costa Rica is an agricultural country. And also it's a country that has no military. And so for us, it's a really honor because we address the budget that most of the countries use for military. We use it in education. So that really helped our country to be a different country, different and peaceful country. So we are really small because our population is 5.5 million people. That's all. We are a small country, like me, but with a big heart. And so that really, it's important for us. And we represent 6% of biodiversity of the planet. So we have been in, besides that, we had the first woman in Central America to become a president. Her name is Laura Quinchilla, and we feel sad for her because she just lost her husband. But fortunately, for me, having the opportunity to share with you a little bit of what the topic is about. I work as a investment banker. After working 25 years in banking, I just decided to become an entrepreneur and have my own office and with other colleagues. So I request our Supreme Soul to give me some guidance. What will I do after 25 years of banking? And I didn't want to work in bank anymore. So my husband says, you have no choice. Your curriculum is, with banking, so what are you going to do? So I decided to start talking to some of my old clients, and I had the opportunity to support some causes that work in social areas, in rural areas, where women are taking leadership on farming. And so we have been able to support and get some funds for these people. For example, after Hurricane Nate last year, the whole town was devastated. And a lady took the leadership of raising again and the community. How? Well, let's start with doing some farming with our basics, because we know how to do it. We are a country that we have all the experience on farming for a whole year, a lot of years. So as the World Bank says, agriculture and food, farming can help reduce poverty, raise income, and improve food security for 80% of the world's poor. So going after that, in our purpose in my office is to support those causes and to really do something impacting and giving a legacy in humanity. So we are going to do it. I started my 50 years old in a different project, but willing to get it. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bernadetta. That's such an important piece that you discussed. How do we take finance and then how do we implement that into agriculture to make sure that it's more sustainable? And with your knowledge, you're probably able to do it faster. So thank you for taking that step. And thank you for sharing that with us all the way from Costa Rica. Next, I would like to bring upon Miriam Kasimi to please come up on stage. She is the CEO of Sangay. Welcome.
Hello everybody. I would have to say how I get emotions to be there and wanted first to thank, of course, Dr. Harbin Arora and also her team, the MCs that are here and that can really help us to develop that, because I know it's not easy with the team behind to organize those kind of events that are really important. Really important to raise awareness, because we have many things to do. And I will first thank all of the women that come across the world from Africa, India, because I met so many great women. Thank you so much for being there, because I know you are fighting every day for a better place for women, and we have to do that. So thank you so much. But it's not just a dream. It's not just a wish. It's a real battle. It's a real fight. We definitely still have to fight. Too many bad things that we still have in that world, and it's really solemn to me to say you that, but I'm really optimistic when I see all those great women I met for the last 6 days. Thank you so much. So what about the reason why I'm here for farming and solar energy? I was cycling for 10 years in Paris, going to work by my bicycle, and it was really polluted. So I bought a mask, and it was still not okay. Then I decided to have my own fight, my engagement, my commitment, like you all do have some. It was my fight against pollutions. Pollutions was really linked to CO2 and all those gases we are breathing every day on our cities, but also on our campaign and all over the world. I know in India you also face that, but thanks to what you will do, I'm sure we will be able to reduce those CO2 gas emissions today. So I decided to create Sunji. It's a solar energy company because energy is also one of the most polluted sectors within the world. And I decided to engage myself where we need energy, which is Africa, and I started with Algeria. So Sunji now for 5 years, we have already been able to reduce 300 tons of CO2 and many other success, and I'm really proud of my team. And you will see what is the link with agriculture. I loved what you said concerning agri is a culture, because in Africa and in Algeria, it should be a culture as well. We import all what we eat, and we have to pay attention to the quality of what we eat, because you know that better than me, we are what we eat, right? And we have been so stupid to pollute what we eat today. I'm also a polluter, so that's my fight, but I first have to fight against myself and to change my own daily behavior. So coming back to farming, why farming and energy? Because of course, we need energy to have this culture of agriculture, to pump water, to store and to fresh the milk we have, to transport them. And I have been able, with the farmers in the desert in Africa, to sell them projects and to give them the opportunity to have less habit with oil and gensets, that are also polluting. But with solar energy, it's cleaner, it's cheaper, and it's of course really quite okay with them, because thanks to solar energy, we can bring the energy everywhere. It's really easy compared to oil and genset. So I'm really proud of all the results we face already, but it's not enough. We still have to fight. And I'm sure, thanks to all the things we are going to do together, I'm optimistic, because I saw and I met so many crazy and really smart women and men, because humanity is also possible to do a lot of great things. We've done that. We are able now, we pollute water, but we are able now, thanks to engineers, to clean it everywhere. That's exactly the same with food. We put many chemicals there, but now we are turning back to bio things. And thanks to you and thanks to women, we can really say that we will reclaiming for farming. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mariam. Thank you for being with us, and thank you for being the mover and shaker, you know, in the global solutions for farmers, because it's so important sometimes. There's so many barriers that they go through, and farming becomes their main side of focus, and people like yourself are actually helping them implement things. So big round of applause. She is coming all the way from France. Thank you for being with us. Next, I would like to invite Shahnawaz Akhtar Jahan to please come up on stage. She is the founder of Renaissance Group, all the way from Bangladesh. Welcome.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is a great honor for me to be present here today with you all. I would like to thank Women Economic Forum for giving me this great opportunity. Women empowerment is an important issue today, so is gender equality. Women in every country are raising their voice for their own rights. In the first world countries, women have gone so far in this matter, but it is sad to observe the situation in the developing and underdeveloped countries. The socio-economic culture of these countries usually discourage women empowerment. But it has not been able to shackle or stop our women like before. Due to internet and abundance of information, women are now being able to get the information they required and see the world. If they are not able to work outside from the family, they now can work from their home and use the online marketplaces to sell their products. Was it possible 10 or 15 years before? No. So I am hopeful that in the next 5 or 10 years, things will change so fast for women. I believe there will be a time soon when women won't require to talk about gender equality and women empowerment. Agriculture and farming can play a huge role in this regards change. If women are living in the rural areas in developed and developing countries can get the knowledge of modern farming techniques, they will be able to grow more crops. And if they get a proper supply chain, they will be able to sell it in a better way. Nowadays, we are tensed about the artificial fertilizers and pesticides used to grow crops. I believe we can play a huge role to change it through organic food products and supplied by the women in rural areas. Besides farming, agriculture, RMG, textiles, we are also doing great in information technology. All we need is proper guidance and training. Different women chambers are playing a vital role in this regard. Through these women chambers, women are getting different kind of trainings to become successful. Our Chittagong Women Chamber is also trying to create a positive change in the society under the leadership of our Honorable President Monora Hakim Ali, advisors and directors of the Chamber. I would also like to welcome entrepreneurs from India and other countries to Bangladesh to invest. Bangladesh is a land of opportunity. We are number 2 in textile export in the world, and by 2021, we will be the number 1, as research says. We are also doing a lot of export in leather, jute products, ceramics, frozen fish, etc. For available tip labor, government support, and all kind of logistic supports, Bangladesh has become a great choice for the foreign investments, for the foreign investors. If anyone from you is interested to set up your business in Bangladesh or want to do a joint venture, please talk to us. We will try to provide all the required support. I will not make my speech long. My best wishes for the collaboration between India and Bangladesh, and I believe we will work together in many projects to support our women and community for a better future. May Almighty bless us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Shanava. Thank you. It's because of women like yourself with substance that's going to make the India and Bangladesh relationship even stronger. She has 25,000 people that are working under her. A big round of applause for her. She runs free clinics. She has a school there. So we're inspired by you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for bringing your ladies here with us as well. A big round of applause. Next, I would like to invite Mantasha Ahmed to please come up on stage. Managing Director at Reela's Fashion Boutique. Welcome. A big round of applause for Mantasha.
My dear soul sisters and distinguished guests, a very good afternoon and Shubho Navabarsha to you all. 14th April, we celebrate Bengali New Year, and I really feel like this is an extended celebration of our New Year, the Bengali New Year, with all these incredible women under one roof who are sharing all their powerful stories with each other. So I would like to thank Women Economic Forum, especially Dr. Harbin Arora, for arranging such a strong platform for us. Today's topic, reclaiming food through agriculture, is extremely relevant for me because I come from a country where 80% of the people are farmers. They're engaged in farming. Although a lot of arable land is now being used for urbanization and infrastructure projects, The government policy is still in favor of agriculture, which is why the farmers are getting a lot of subsidy. They have access to good raw materials. They're using new technologies. And as a result, we have been able to meet our local demands, and the imports of grains have reduced significantly. And now we can, in fact, export a lot of agro-based products abroad. So that is actually a big achievement for us. And the urban population is also inclined towards rooftop gardening these days. So on high-rise buildings, you'll see very nice green gardens. So that is something we have been encouraging our urban population as well. I think because of global warming, there will be disasters, a lot of natural disasters in the coming days. Bangladesh particularly is a cyclone and flood-prone country, and certain cyclones in Bangladesh was hit by Sidr and Ayla, the big cyclones. There was big food scarcity, and at that time our farmers were pushed to use hybrid seeds, and instead of rice we started growing maize to produce wheat. So at that time that's how we met the demands of local people. So I think this sort of phenomena, natural disasters, can happen in any part of the world. So we always need to be prepared, and that's why agriculture is so important. And as one of my soul sisters already said, that agriculture is the most ancient way of life. It will always influence our life. So let's start our own garden. And I would like to finish my speech with a quote from Kiran Bedi. She says, "Every woman is a working woman, only a few are salaried." So yes, we all work, but how many of us get the due respect? I'm very lucky that my husband is here today with my daughter to celebrate my success. And I see that Dr. Harbin Arora's husband is also there supporting her and all of us. So a big round of applause for them. I think men like them can make a big difference in a woman's life. So thank you very much.
I've heard it from the leaders that the highest paying job in the country should be of a mother, you know. Even if they're not working, they're still working, even if they're sleeping. So a big round of applause for you and having the support of your family that you have today. Thank you. A big round of applause for Mantasha. Next, I would like to invite another dynamic woman who's coming from Bangladesh, Savina Ikram Sharaji, to please come up on stage. She is the proprietor, Master Chef. Savina is Savina's Kitchen. Welcome, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you all are having a wonderful time, just like I am having. It was a great pleasure to meet here and learn from diverse number of people and also share knowledge and opinions. Savina's Kitchen started with a small-scale catering house, but now we are catering food in a huge scale. Since my business is food-related and I love food, I have practiced in a number of top-rated restaurants in Bangladesh, learned different cuisine. I have also won the first prize in a cooking contest all over Bangladesh. Its name was Shera Randhuni in 2016, just like MasterChef. So, talking about food along with agriculture, a few things comes to my mind. These are the things that I can relate with my own food business and also the things that I have experienced. Humidity plays a big role here. The food I am making for my customers need to be hygienic and healthy as well. But raw materials that I buy from the store needs to be healthy too. Suppose oil, rice, flour, onion, etc. These need to be cultivated organically and formalin-free. Or else, no matter how clean I keep my kitchen or how healthy I try to prepare my food, it would be of no use. Nowadays, everything comes in hybrid. Farmers are using formalin on their crops, injecting medicines into the animals like cows, chicken, goat, fish, etc. This will affect our health in the long run. Agriculture is the largest employment sector in Bangladesh. The performance of this sector has a wide range of impact on major microeconomic objectives like employment, property, human resource development, food security, etc. Basically, the entire nation's health depends on the type and quality of food we are having. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Savina. Thank you for sharing your story with us. Next, I would like to invite Rosina Akhtar to please come up on stage. She is with Regal Freight Forwarding Agency. A big round of applause for you.
Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon everyone. I would like to thank WEF and especially for Herbert Arora. Actually, agriculture is an important source of livelihood in most parts of the world. It involves tough work but contribute of food security and health of nation. Before the Industrial Revolution, agriculture was the primary source of economy. In spite of many commercial options coming up, many rely on agriculture for their income. Agriculture is a nature-friendly and most peaceful method of livelihood. Industrial farming techniques and genetically modified crops allow farmers to produce a much greater amount of food than in the past, even when using the same amount of land which keeps food on table. But at what cost? Science today has succeeded in taking the sacred out of farming, at least out of modern scientific farming. Machines took labors out of the field, so farming became more manageable. Selective breeding brought genetic beverage more or less under control. Commercial fertilizer gave farmers the power to cope with the uncertainties or organic-based Naturian cycling. Commercial fertilizers provide simple scientific means of managing predator, parasites and pests. Deep oil irrigation reduce. The growers depends on rainfall. Processing, storage and transportation all mechanical process. Remove many of the previous biological constraints associated with the farm, time and place production. Farms fertilizers without proof. Who needs God when we have modern science and technology? Reclaiming the sacred simply recreate a possibility or hope for a desirable quality of life. Sustainable farming means farming in the harmony with the nature and nurturing nature rather than dominating or manipulating it. Sustainable agriculture means fighting farming or to the farmer. The farm not forcing either to some preferable restriction or progress. Thank you all, everybody here.
Thank you so much, Ms. Akhtar. Now I want to invite a special guest on stage who's been with us for a few days. She's traveling all the way from the UK, Caroline Drummond, to please come up on stage. She's with LEAF, and this woman is a prime example of when we say woman in farming. She'll be able to give you a bit more insight on that. A big round of applause for you, Caroline.
Thank you very much. Well, my work is linking environment and farming, and having heard from these wonderful ladies about how important sustainable agriculture is, I couldn't agree more. Farming is the bedrock of our whole society, the core of our culture. It is two words, agriculture, and that is the management of the land, the management of our earth, the respect for nature, but of course the culture in every country that is often depicted by our food. Our work at LEAF is around working with farmers across the world about driving more sustainable agriculture. And as has been really clearly highlighted, it is a big challenge, and it's something that we need to speed up as we face some of the big challenges around climate change, because farming holds the solution for a better nutrition, embedding nutrition of the value of the food we grow, for better culture and sharing of food, but more importantly, understanding the importance of rural areas in an increasingly urban society. So thank you very much, and thank you again, Dr. Harim, for a wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline. We are so proud of all the work that you're doing. It's so, so important. Thank you for being with us. I will call upon both of our guests, Dr. Harbeen Arora and our special guest, Caroline, to please come up to the main stage and present our panelists with their awards. I would like to call upon Dr. Rupal Tyagi to please come up on stage and receive her iconic woman creating a award. Now we have in the house Mr. Uday Kugaji, who is representing his wife, Chef Ritu here, who's taking her award for us. Sri Lakshmi, please come up on stage. Big round of applause for the
prestigious ceremony, celebration. Thanks to Dr. Habib, who's made it happen. And to all of you who've taken the time out to be here. I feel genuinely so blessed to have spent these few days among some of the most amazing light givers. So blessed. Thank you for sharing your energy with me. I'm Diaz, and I'm founder of a 4-week mentorship program, Journey Back to Source. I have a vision, and that vision is to create global and universal peace in helping humanity to reawaken to their God essence. And in so doing, the mission is to show you via some very simple techniques on how you can reawaken and reconnect to your true essence. I believe that we all are highly evolved, omnipotent, omnipresent beings, all of us, because we were created by a force equally powerful and omniscient. And as such, you have the power within you to manifest your wildest dreams, if and only if you allow yourself to go back and to find within you that power. We've come away from our true powers when we came to this plane. But the forum is not the time to go more deep into that. But if you wish to know more, connect with me. Journey Back to Source. Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Diaz Richards, Journey Back to Source. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been indeed a great honor. You are all beautiful human beings. Highly evolved, multi-dimensional beings you are. Thank you. You are my sisters. You are my brothers. You are most powerful Thank you for your smiles and your energy. Thank you.
I shan't waste any time introducing the diminutive nightingale, whose name I'm now trembling in my boots as I try to remember how to pronounce. Katarzyna Spercheska, nearly? Katarzyna.
Join me. I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. I am not the things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am a light. I am a light. I am a light. Please join me. I am a light. I am a light. I am a light. I am a light. Powerful. I am a light. 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 I would love you all to feel it deep within that you are all are light. You are the light that comes from the one and only. You are, as Wayne Dyer says, the piece of the apple pie. There is nothing else. If you come from the apple pie, if you come from God, you are a piece of God. You are worthy. You are mighty. You are omnipotent. You are. And that's enough. You are. You have such a power within you. Don't let fear stop you. Come from love, because fear is false evidence appearing real. Come from love. And don't be discouraged by failure, because failure is nothing else than first attempt in learning. So without failure, you won't succeed. And bring light, bring yourself. Because where is darkness, and you bring light, you bring yourself, there will be light. Where is love? Where there is no love, bring love, and you will find love. My name is Katarzyna Joanna Sperczyńska. I am an actor, I am a singer, I am a speaker. But first of all, I am a supporter of yours. I mentor those who have great messages. And I want to leave you with one thing. Just remember the light that is in you. The light that comes from there. And nothing and no one can take it from you. We are enough. We are the power. We are the change of tomorrow. Dr. Harbin, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Because you changed the Women Economic Forum into Women Empowerment Forum. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Compose yourself, Susan. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most spiritual young men that I think I've ever met, Mr. Luke Scott.
Please put your hands together for the amazing Sue Kerr and all the other speakers we've had so far. I invite you all, please take a deep breath in and out. Every act of kindness ripples through eternity. Who believes that? Raise your hands nice and high. Beautiful. Please turn to the person next to you and say, always be kind. I have seen some incredible acts of support and kindness in these past few days. From people I've just met, people I barely know, all coming together, giving for no reason other than just to give. Isn't that the kind of world we want to live in? And what an amazing space we've all created. Thank you all for this taste of what life can be like when we're all coming from our hearts. My name's Luke Scott III. I speak all over the world, but I've never spoken before at a conference quite like this. To be one of the few men invited to speak at a conference with over 2,000 empowered women really hit home that I've been doing something right. And one of the greatest pleasures is actually, I run a public speaking academy. And 6 of my students came here to Delhi. And now they're all international speakers. And a lot of them have stood on this stage. And to see their growth in just months, what we're doing here today, the ripple effects of this event are going to change the whole world. They already have. You have to take what you've learned here and you need to go and implement this. You need to share this stuff. You need to show people what life can be like when we all support each other. And next time, instead of 2,000 people, let's have 20,000 people all coming from their hearts. Next year, let's have 100 speakers from the UK. An army of empowered people, right? All coming from their hearts to share with you. I'd love to connect with you all. You can find me on Facebook, YouTube. Standout Speaker Academy. And I just want to leave you with this. All it takes for us to change this world, for us to shift everything, is for you to dare to shine bright. Because when you dare to shine your brightest, you give other people permission to shine too. So be brave, be bold, be courageous, shine, and be kind. Thank you.
Thanks, Luke. So that's what I do. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lily. And to end on that note, as the last speaker for this week-long conference where we've heard hundreds and thousands of people from across the world, over 1 million ideas discussed, to end on the most urgent and persistent question. Lily. What?
And with the kind of support we are giving to each other, we are adding pace to each step, each initiative, each endeavor, each action that every woman takes, so that in her journey towards becoming, towards every woman a businesswoman vision that we have. So more peace be upon you, more pace be upon you. Together we shall rise, and together we shall be the queen of our own kingdoms, of our own hearts. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now take great pride in honoring our esteemed panelists. I request Dr. Harbeen Arora to honor Ashish Bhasin with the Leader of the Decade in Media Leadership Award. Put your hands together for Helen Mary Gosselin, Woman of the Decade in Innovation and Leadership. Shaju for being an exceptional woman of excellence. I call upon Divya Bindra and Ambika Jain to collect their awards for Exceptional Woman of Excellence. Shyam Singhania, Exceptional Leader of Excellence. Tamanna Dhamija, Exceptional Woman of Excellence. Harjeet Singh, please step up to collect your award for being an exceptional leader of excellence. Lily Wang, Exceptional Woman of Excellence. Malhotra, Exceptional Leader of Excellence. I call upon his son, Varun Malhotra, to collect the award on his behalf. I request our panelists to please come together for a group photograph.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for this dynamic group.
and gentlemen, please don't leave your seat yet. We have amongst us Katarzyna Joanna, the extremely talented actor, singer, multifaceted personality. She's going to sing opera for us.
झुमका गिरा दे झुमिला ले अगर वो नजर मिटा दे दिलों पे चल दी टुक 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 करती मैं टुक टुक कर दिया अंग्रेजी पढ़ती किट पिट टुक करती जिन्हें कोई नहीं बाती विक्टोरिया तू कंटी दिख बे पूरा संदे तुम